So the textbook begins by focusing on art made for Buddhist, Jain, and Hindu audiences because there remains tremendous continuity with what you began. The roots are still growing and thriving. Here, they talk a little bit about how Buddhism is beginning to fade away as a major religion, although it is also being absorbed into Hinduism, so in a sense it doesn't fade away. It becomes annexed to Hinduism. There are pockets that remain very strong as Buddhist centers in the north and the east, and it is there that we get this form of Buddhism that you've already encountered in your studies of China and Japan, because it will eventually migrate, the form of Buddhism that can be called Tantrism or Vajrayana. And it's a form of Buddhism that has a close affiliation with Hindu practices, the Hindu interest in sort of a very complicated and rich cosmos of deities or spiritual presences. And so bodhisattvas become very important figures as depicted in this sculpture of the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of infinite compassion. You look here and you see, oh, I've already seen that posture of royal ease and that crown. I've seen Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara in China and in Korea and in Japan. So you saw this Bodhisattva of infinite compassion known by the Chinese name Guan Yin. And there is the crown. And the waterfall drapery of China is a hallmark of Chinese style, but these kind of like the sense of flowing animated energy is also present in the sculpture. That is, in the sculpture of bronze, where you see the kind of trailing, flowing quality of the flowers, as if the artists in both cases want to animate the spiritual power of the figure. And they do so through those waving, flowing lines. So this shining bronze gilded quality, the delicate details, the ornamental splendor, all of that is something that you will see often in Vajrayana Buddhist art, or we can also say Tantric Buddhist art. And in fact, you can see it when you go to the Asian Art Museum. So if this interests you, this sculpture, this bronze sculpture of Avalokiteshvara and the idea of Vajrayana Buddhism, you can go to in the galleries under their collections, and you will find that to preview your trip, there will be a room on the third floor devoted to the Himalayas and the Tibetan Buddhist world. They've got an explanation that the art there is from Tibet, Nepal, Mongolia, Bhutan, and China, that they have bronze lacquer sculptures, more than 150 paintings, and you can preview that and see the continuities with this sculpture, in which the same gilded bronze, elegant delicacy and sense of movement are present. And in fact, you will find that you can even see the Bodhisattva Avalokiteshvara in a related form, standing under the identity of Padmapani, the lotus bearer. So you could certainly find sculptures here that would bear comparison, because you know that's part of your task, to set up comparisons, that would bear comparison to what you see in the textbook. Textbook then moves on to show you a Jain temple, Luna Vasahi on Mount Abu. And Jainism is a fascinating religion that we barely touched upon. A question has come up that's really interesting. Why did Jainism not become as widespread as Buddhism and Hinduism? Those are complicated questions, no simple, straightforward answer. But one factor is that Jainism has a very high standard of asceticism. They talk about how Jain monks live a life of austerity, and even lay people avoid killing any living creature. Their the central Jain tenet is ahimsa, non-harming. That is also the case in Buddhism. Buddhism's central tenet is ahimsa, non-harming. But in Jainism, it is taken so seriously that Jain followers will even sweep the road as they walk, to sweep aside insects so as not to kill even an insect, even accidentally. But in terms of art, you get a chance here to look at a magnificent temple that is, again, a wonder of detail, ornament, and splendor. And to understand the full effect of that ornamentation, you would have to go in person, but you really can't just rely on the one photograph in the textbook. You have to use the power of Google to look at it from many angles, both up close and from afar, looking at incredible details such as these elephants, looking at the whole overall effect of being encrusted with carvings, as if the temple wants to bring together the entire cosmos in a celebration of the achievement of the Tirthan, and then all of that splendid complexity and density of detail surrounds the calm of the pathfinder, who is the spiritual leader. And it gives you this sense that the whole cosmos is in celebration of and witness to that event, and that event must be understood as something that radiates out for the benefit of the entire world. That is a very similar idea in terms of aesthetic expression of sacred significance to what you see in the Hindu architectural developments that you'll be reading about, where the city of victory, Vijayanagara, is a kind of includes a temple complex that has the quality of being an entire little world unto itself of sacred magnificence. And that is also the case, the temple at Madurai, where the Gopura is just encrusted like the jewels on a crown or barnacles on a ship, with these magnificent sculptures that add incredible impact through quantity. Quantity is part of the meaning, just as we saw in the tomb culture of the Shang and Zhou dynasties. And that's very similar to how sacred experience is being structured and constructed, visualized and physicalized in Europe, in France, with the birth of Gothic cathedrals at roughly the same time. So you have this magnificent entryway where, again, you have so much density, complexity, as if every single sacred idea and sacred figure needs to be assembled together, packed in for a statement of gloriousness, as if that is being witnessed and reinforced by the whole panoply of religious figures.